Yo guys, Vision here, back with more Marvel Rivals content. Today's video will bring you the full Adam Warlock guide following the latest update, breaking down all of his abilities, including his team up and addressing both his strengths and weaknesses. This is episode 44 of my Hero Series guides with all of the previous episodes on my channel, and on that note, let's get right into it. So I guess first things first, we're nearly there with all of the hero guides with every character that is in the game at this point in time, with only a couple left to go. Now, Adam Warlock is a super fun to play strategist, a long range support with high conditional area of effect burst healing, as well as the ability to share damage amongst teammates, whilst also being capable at reviving multiple allies, being a clutch player in itself and a hero to choose when you want that clutch factor. Now, his range damage output makes him effective at sniping those flyers and those poked heroes, especially in those sort of poke hero comps where you have the likes of a a Punisher, or whatever it may be. This is where he's going to be super effective at both not only healing, but also dealing damage. Now, as for his abilities, his primary fire, known as the Quantum Magic, is a hit scan prime attack that launches quick energy, bolts to damage opponents, and is very effective when it's in skilled hands. In precise hands, you can really deal a great amount of damage, especially critical hits. Now, his secondary fire, known as the Cosmic Cluster, while holding L2, allows Adam Warlock to charge up his staff and release multiple energy bolts. Now, the longer down this thing is charged, the more projectiles will be fired, up to 5 energy bolts, which can rapidly sort of remove players and be a great entry attack or executioner style ability. But as well as a little tip on this, by rapidly sort of weaving uncharged Cosmic Cluster with the Quantum Magic fires, by basically pressing L2 and R2 together, you can effectively cancel the end lag of these attacks to slightly increase his damage per second, to basically increasing the sort of the fire rate, but also the ammo consumption. So just bear that in mind. But it is a really quick way of dealing higher damage per second, which is really effective in skilled hands, especially like I said, if you're precise and know how to use this. As well as this, he also has the Avatar Livestream ability, which is a bouncing healing energy that can affect up to 2 targets. Now, this ability has 2 charges as well. By pressing R1, and Adam also receives a smaller amount of this healing upon casting. If no ally is targeted, he receives the full healing effect. So this is a really good situational heal ability that he gets obviously on a consistent basis, and by using the L2 ability, dealing damage as well as using this heal can make him really effective from range. The Soul Bond, the L1 ability, creates a link between Adam Warlock and all nearby characters, causing them all to share and distribute all damage taken across the bond. Characters affected also gain a small healing over time for a few seconds as well, and if Adam Warlock sustains fatal damage, he effectively then retains 1 HP instead of just being single 1 hit killed, and then instead will be a 1 HP for a follow-up, of course, which will then remove him. Now, each affected target can sustain up to 250 shared damage, which is pretty crazy, especially if you place it with all 6 of you, so all 6 of you as a team all together. The bond does break under the following conditions, so just bear that in mind. When the bond duration of 6 seconds expires, which is how long, of course, the ability lasts, or if too much damage is sustained, exceeding the 250 damage per affected ally, or if Adam Warlock or the affected ally leaves that link's range, then, of course, this effect will not take place. So just bear that in mind. Like I said, it's more situational, and on certain maps or against certain team comps, this is where Adam Warlock is going to be far more effective than like the likes of other healers or strategists in this game. Now, his ability, the ultimate Karmic Revival, creates a quantum zone that automatically revives any fallen allies that are within the zone's radius. Now, the quantum zone will continuously track allies to revive them within a 10-second time frame, so bear that in mind. The zone itself can revive each character just 1 time. Characters are briefly invincible when being revived, and the zone's radius is based on Adam's current position of when he wants to use the ability, and O basically works even if he's in the regenerative cocoon as well. As for the weaknesses of this character, I say he lacks any mobility tools, making him more susceptible to dives and flanking. His regenerative cocoon has a very long cooldown of over 100 seconds, so just that also does add to the fact that he's less effective in team fights if you use this too early, just like Wolverine with the likes of his regenerative healing factor. Now, and despite his high burst healing, he lacks sustained healing due to the longer cooldowns of his Avatar Livestream. Now, in addition to this, I'd say he relies heavily on positioning of your teammates in order to actually maximize the bouncing effect of the heal abilities, and Adam can also not be too far away from teammates if you want to heal them, so this is where he's going to fall down. Like I said, if certain maps or certain team comps are both going to hinder as well as impact his effectiveness, so bear that in mind, because certain map compositions just definitely do not affect or sort of work towards his strengths, and more lean towards the sort of negatives and the downsides of this character. And as well as the sort of ultimate abilities, the range and not being very high, this means that allies are too far away and also won't be revived. And in addition to this, the player must be careful when using this ability, because avoiding reviving characters only for them to be taken down again is super painful. We've all been there. We've had a teammate just pop this ability, we've all died, we've respawned back, and we've died straight away again. This is absolutely painful and something you need to be aware of if you are playing as Adam Warlock. He's also completely vulnerable whilst challenging the ability, and if he's executed before creating the quantum zone, the ability will go on a cooldown before activated, and therefore he will not be able to pull this off successfully. And also, Adam Warlock himself obviously cannot be revived by this ability, so bear that in mind. But just make sure you're using this close enough to your teammates whilst also behind cover so that it actually affects them, brings them all back so they don't all just die straight away. And then obviously we want to try and save your soul bond, the L1 ability, to try and link all your teammates up together and start spamming your R1 attack to make the most of this ability, to keep them all alive and make sure that you actually don't just sort of put your team in a terrible situation, an even worse situation than they already were in when they were going into the respawn phase. But in summary, I'd say Adam Warlock is a super effective and really fun character to learn and play. I was pleasantly taken away a sort of a surprise of how enjoyable this character is. He's a character I've put high on my list, on the Lord list that I'm doing in the background. A separate series that I've got going on, in case you guys weren't aware. I'm trying to get Lord on every single character, which of course is going to take some time, but this character has become one of those that I'm going to prioritize as a strategist, and something that I'm going to do as the very earliest. I think like I'm going to do Ultron, Rocket, and maybe Adam. So as you can see, I'm more sort of leaning towards the utility based and the sort of support style healers rather than, or strategists rather I should say, rather than the healer focused ones, the primary healers such as your like Cloak and Daggers or your Lunas and your sort of Invisible Woman. I'm sort of leaning towards the other style of strategists because I'm not a healer main, and Adam just so happens to be a really fun to play but yet simple and sort of easy to pick up strategist in this game. Someone that I've massively enjoyed playing with and I would highly recommend for you guys. But there you guys have it. That's the full guide in itself for Adam Warlock. I wanted to keep it quite simple in itself. Didn't want to go into too much detail in the numbers and sort of that category in itself, but just generally on how to play this character and his abilities. If you guys have enjoyed the video and found this to be useful, as always, do not forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions or tips or tricks about playing this character or any cool clips you want to share, let me know down below in the comments and I'll get right back to you. I'm VisionSGen. Hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one.